One of the questions is, what is the process if we have someone that might be interested in buying a Pacaso home? Is there a portal? Do we call? How do we refer clients to Pacaso and receive commissions as an agent?
Yeah, I'll take this question. So the way to get a hold of us is, all available on our website. There's also an agent dedicated page where you can contact us there and actually become one of our preferred or certified agent partners. We do a lot of business with real estate agents. Real estate agents tend to love Pacaso because Pacaso is kind of like a tool in the toolkit that enables real estate agents to convert people who would have otherwise been window shoppers into homeowners. So we'd love to work with you. If you have clients who you think would be interested in Pacaso, we'd love to work with you. We try to make the process as easy as possible. Our mantra internally is we want, your transaction to be as easy as a referral. Like if you refer a client to another real estate agent for a traditional sale, as real estate agents, the agent getting the referral does all the work and you just get a share of the commission. In our case, we'll do all the work, but we'll give you the full commission. So regardless of the market and what the standard co-op agent commission is in that market, we pay 3% on all transactions if you bring a buyer, and we try to do all the work so that the experience is as seamless as possible for you as the referring agent.
Great, thank you. We also have several questions about the current macro environment. One of them is, how does Pacaso leadership expect the possible inflationary period or tariffs to impact customer spending on a second home? Does this impact your short or long-term targets?
Why don't I take first pass at this, Al, and feel free to chime in if you add anything or if you have anything. The world is full of uncertainty. Like market cycle, uncertainty comes, it goes. There's a reasonable chance that we're going to be in a period of uncertainty for a while, right? Because of everything that's happening right now. And, if you live your life waiting for things to be certain, you're not going to live a very great life. You're going to spend most of your life, waiting for the perfect moment, and you're going to blink and your kids are going to be, old, or your grandkids are going to be old, and you will have missed years, if not decades of your life. Where you had an opportunity to maximize that time. So like independent of macro conditions, like we're in the business of helping people live great lives. And whether we're in a period of certainty or uncertainty shouldn't stop someone from optimizing the quality of their life if they're in a position to do so, right? Like if you're living to paycheck and you don't have discretionary income or savings, you probably shouldn't buy a Pacaso, right? And you wouldn't be able to buy a Pacaso. But, if you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you have a nice income, you have a lot of savings, you have investments, like the one amazing thing that money allows people to do is optimize the way that they spend their time. And once you have wealth, the time and the way that you spend your time is the most valuable resource. So I think that is our challenge right now, as a company during a time of uncertainty, is to keep to basically help our prospective customers stay focused on what really matters. And what really matters for most of our customers is spending more quality time with people that they love in places that they love. The other thing that I'll say is that in uncertain times, one of the best and most stable things that you could park your money in is real estate. Like I think about my personal, portfolio and balance sheet and how much volatility it has experienced over the course of the last, 15 years. Like when I sold my company to Zillow was trading at $17 a share. And I watched it go from 17 to 200, back down to 19, back to 100, back to 60. That's pretty stressful. Versus my real estate portfolio, it just always goes up and to the right. Sometimes it levels off a little bit, but it always kind of goes up and to the right over a long period of time if you own good real estate in good markets whereby supply is limited. And that is true of all the markets where Pacaso operates. So I encourage our owners and prospective owners to focus on living the best quality life, and thinking about luxury real estate ownership is a bit of a hedge, a way to park money in something that is quite certain and more stable.
Yeah, and I could just add, I think you could really burn a lot of calories worrying about all the news and all the headlines and everything that's happening. And I think that just that time you spent there would more important to spend it and focus on the things that you can control within your sphere of influence. And I think as a team, like what we're trying to do is focus on what we can control. And from my perspective, on the finance side, what we can control is managing our near-term liquidity extremely acutely, having access to capital, and really focusing on all the key things that drive our rinse and repeat of capital, right? So that concept of recycling capital is such a great part of our business, is that when you go out and we invest and buy an asset, it's not like we're actually putting that capital and it sits. We expect to churn that capital. So, just making sure that we have really tight focus around our liquidity position and capital efficiency, and managing our burn rate. And, we'll kind of manage through any sort of macro challenges, right? And, we kind of think about this across a broad, range of scenarios. So, we're, anticipating what could happen in the future, and we're prepared for, all of those potential scenarios.
Thank you. We also have a fair amount of questions about runway, existing cash, committed capital. All of them seem to culminate in the question of, is a path to profitability in sight?
Yeah, I could take this one. I talked a lot about liquidity. I talked a lot about, capital efficiency. And as Austin alluded to, and I did in my remarks, we are focused on getting to a path to profitability. Now, we don't disclose when we think that's going to happen, but you can guarantee that is one of my main focuses. When I think about the future, I am acutely focused on ensuring that we are optimizing our balance sheet, optimizing our capital structure, optimizing, our operating expenses, such that we get to a path to profitability as fast as possible. And you can kind of see that in the results, right? So, cash burn, like, while it's not a metric that we disclose in our Form 1, I could kind of explain how we think about it. And when we think about cash burn, it's really the adjusted EBITDA, less interest expense, less taxes, capitalized labor, and other, cash expenses. And in 2024, our cash burn in aggregate was approximately $27 million. And that reflects an improvement of about $5.8 million year over year. And, that's both a focus on cost reduction, but it's operating expense optimization as well, right? And I think you, as a investor base, can expect that we're going to continue to kind of make further progress there and reduce our cash burn in the near future.
Thank you. We have a question about financing opportunities for buying abroad. It looks like one of the attendees is considering buying a Pacaso in Paris.
Al, do you want to take that, or you want me to take it?
Yeah.
I think the question is like, is there financing abroad? Is that the question?
Yes, they're asking if there's the ability to finance their purchase of a Pacaso in Paris.
Yeah, Al, why don't you take that?
So we're working on financing for Paris. It's not quite, there yet, but it is something that we're focused on. We have a number of discussions with various lenders, but we realize that, access to financing and reducing the, amount that someone needs to put up to buy a Pacaso is kind of critical. So that's a key focus for us, but we do not have anything to share on that just yet.
Hey, by the way, just to add on to that, for those of you who aren't maybe you're considering buying abroad and aren't as familiar with this process, like in a lot of these markets, it's almost impossible to get financing if you're like a whole home buyer on your own. Like in Mexico, for example, like everybody buys their homes with cash. Pacaso offers financing. In Paris, as Al just mentioned, like there's really not options available for a normal buyer. But given our track record and our banking relationships, we're gonna, I can't say with certainty, but almost certain that we will be able to offer financing like we do in every other market. So that's just one more of the many things that we do to make international home buying so seamless when compared to the alternative of buying a whole home.
Great, thank you. And based on time, we have time for one final question. Are there opportunities to use AI to enhance the owner experience, such as personalized trip planning, stay scheduling, or customer support?
Short answer, yes. I'll keep this very high level. It'd be like rewind back to the year 2000. If somebody were asking, is it possible to leverage the internet and software to improve your business? The answer would be like, yeah, of course. I don't know all the things that are going to play out over the course of the next 10 or 20 years, but I think it's certain that the internet and software is going to transform companies, in the early 2000s. That's kind of what AI is like now. It's like AI is a new tool, a new platform that is going to change the way that, we leverage technology and life and in work. So the opportunities are basically endless. I mean, we're already doing a lot of really exciting things from, AI agent works, like projects. So AI agents are effectively like, imagine an employee that's not a human, that's an AI that does work like a human, but smarter, faster. We're building AI agents for lots of different use cases in the business. There are things like scheduling, like imagine all the things that we're going to be able to do to make the scheduling process smarter, more dynamic, to give people more of the dates that they want in a more, dynamic way. And again, the opportunities are like endless. So we don't know, how it's going to impact our business, but we know it's going to be huge, like it is for every other company, and we're really excited about it.
Thank you. That will conclude our Q&A session for today. We have about 150 questions that came in during the call, so we will follow up with you individually after if we did not get to your question. I'll now turn it back over to Austin for closing thoughts.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, again, for being here, for your support and vote of confidence in our team and our business. I know many of you have been with Pacaso either as customers or investors for a long time, long before we were a category leader, across 40 markets. And we really appreciate you guys believing in us early on. For those of you who are new to the story or considering investing, we appreciate your consideration and would love to have you, as kind of part of the team on this journey. As I mentioned, I think the days are really young here. We're building a category that is massive, and we hope to create a lot of shareholder value over time. And we'd love for you to be part of that. So if you're interested, please check out pacaso.com/invest. And we try to make it really easy for you to participate if you feel so inclined. So thanks again and have a great day.